Hey everybody, it is ElCid 932 on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. This is ElCid Unscripted, where I posted, I made a post this week, as I do every week, for you to let me know what you want to talk about on Fridays. Nobody posted, but y'all had a lot to say in this last unsolicited advice. So come on in, say hello. Say hello in the chat. Make sure you have liked, make sure you're subscribed. YouTube is like 80% of people are here over and over again and not subscribed. Please double check your subscriptions as well, because YouTube sometimes takes you off and puts you back on again. You've got to click it again. Hey Ari, glad to have you here. Sorry, I didn't contribute. I can't think of it. Girl, I know you can think of something. K Sharp, glad to have you here. Wink, wink. I see your name is back. But y'all said in unsolicited advice, y'all wanted to talk about, there were two things that popped up. There were Bob's, battery-operated boyfriends. The other thing that popped up, pun intended, was the older women, younger men. Because we were talking about how the age gaps of it all. And we did touch on Tracee Ellis Ross for a bit. So come on in, please make sure you like, and let me get to this article. So on Business Insider, I looked up Tracee Ellis Ross and Business Insider. It says Tracee Ellis Ross, 52, on why she dates younger men. She says a lot of men my age are steeped in toxic masculinity. She prefers dating younger men because they are less bound by traditional gender roles. She made an appearance on IMO podcast hosted by Michelle Obama and her brother, Craig Robinson. And she reflected on her dating preferences and shares why she gravitates towards younger partners. Said, why does this keep coming up other than they're hot and gorgeous? There's that. But a lot of men my age are steeped in toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there's a particular way that a relationship looks. And anything that starts to smell like that for me, I did enough of that where I was controlled and felt like I was a possession or a prize. I have no interest in it and I will not do it again. She said it is a generalization, but she's had very different experience dating men her age and younger men. She said there's a difference. There's an openness that occurs with a younger man around, whether it is gender fluidity, or not even having an issue with, sexualities of different kinds. Something as basic as that. Tracee Ellis Ross goes on to say, she added that she is no longer willing to take on the role of helping her partner mature. Hey, to go to Africa, glad to have you here. I'm just reading the article concerning Tracee Ellis Ross. Y'all were talking about older women, younger men. So she said, I have long been past the age where I feel like my job is to teach somebody or grow them up that I'm not interested in. Okay, she's not the only female celebrity who shares this. There's Cher, there is Kris Jenner, there's Heidi Klum, and the situationship of it all, or what was it? It wasn't a situationship with Jada. So my thing is, okay, she says she doesn't want to help someone mature. The person still got to learn who you are. So I need to know what that maturity looks like. K Sharp says, I like younger men as well, but the fluidity is something I can't get down with. I guess she's saying that they're more open to trying new things, wouldn't get squeamish about certain things. I'm wondering. But she says that she doesn't want to help her partner mature. Hey, Sunshine, we're talking about, remember, y'all brought up the topic of older women, younger men. You guys brought up in the chat on Wednesday's live with unsolicited advice. So I read an article with Tracee Ellis Ross's thoughts, and she said she doesn't want to help her partner mature. That is not her job. But I'm like, we all grow differently. We all grow differently. And while I know K. Michelle said you can't raise a man. You're not trying to raise him, but some of us aren't raised with a certain set of skills. So let's say a Tracy Ellis Ross dating, as she said, she's dating a younger man. If it's a younger man not in the industry, she gonna have to teach him a lot. If it's a younger man not in the industry, he gonna have to learn, even if it isn't a younger man. Just any man, you're gonna have to teach them your way. You gotta teach any partner your way. You gotta let them know, hey, this is how I was raised. This is what I know. These are my preferences. These are my likes. These are my don't likes. And y'all have to learn together. Now, I don't know in what way she's saying to help them mature. I'm not saying that she needs to raise him. Okay? I'm not saying she needs to raise him, but we definitely need to learn. They need to learn. I'm not saying you teach him how to open his first bank account. No. Though I do know that there are some, folks in their 20s right now do need some of the guidance, some of the basic guidance that we were given in the past. So she said she loves the fact that they are more open to different kind of gender roles, and that, they may be, open to being a little more fluid. They may be open to things that a man at her age in the 50s may not be open to. Now, what we can tell, Miss Ross, is that over unsolicited advice, we have been seeing some people in the 50s and 60s that are certainly open to it. Y'all have heard the episodes. Y'all have been here for the episodes. That definitely there has been, someone there that is, of a mature age, over 50, as, Tracy Ellis Ross is. And we have seen them be into some, different things. So y'all will have to go to Unsolicited Advice and watch those episodes so y'all can keep up. Ari says, I understand that part, Elsa, but it sounds like she would have to teach him a lot. And it seems like it might be more towards emotional intelligence. It might be. She says she doesn't want a man that is thinking about relationships in a traditional sense. Last episode was really spicy, girl. Yes. Wednesday. Yep. That was number 24, I believe. It does get spicy. If you go to previous episodes, we have gotten spicy. Yeah, I can see emotional intelligence. I can see, as she said, she wishes for more physical openness. So definitely. Okay, definitely. Hey, Ebony. Yeah, thank you. The curls are curling. Yep. I gotta spritz them. Hey, Unfiltered Doll Reactions. Y'all make sure you are going over there and subscribing to the Unfiltered Doll Reaction. That's where we get, we do get spicy in that chat over there, as do I. We're talking about Tracy Ellis Ross, an older woman dating younger men. She said it is not her job to raise her man. She don't want to do it anymore. She doesn't want to help him mature. And I'm like, there's some level of teaching and learning. Then she wants someone who can be more open, non-traditional, lifestyles, maybe non-traditional in the sheets. She said gender fluidity. That's what she said. I usually don't consider younger men because of my concerns that they're primarily looking for someone to open their home, kitchen, purse, and legs. To go to Africa, they're looking for a sponsor. That's what you're talking about. Yes, Unfiltered Doll is in the bushes. Drive safely, please. Hey, welcome in. I have better understanding of polyamorous relationships, so I would like to explore a situation with a younger man because an older man would not be as open. Girl, I think you better go look at Seeking Brother Husband. You may want to go and look at that show, Seeking Brother Husband. There's hey, Just Rhonda 01. Y'all make sure you are also subscribed to Just Rhonda 01. She catches you up on all the housewives and all of the dating shows, and I'm sure she's gonna be doing Huntsville that's coming up. You need to go look at Brother Husband. There was a mature husband with a younger wife, and he was the one seeking and interviewing the gentleman that will be joining their polyamorous relationship. So there are mature men. I don't know where in the pond Tracy Ellis Ross is fishing for, but there are mature gentlemen over 50 who are open to polyamorous. So again, she said she is generalizing. She says it is a general statement she's making that the younger men are just more open to non-traditional gender norms. She is acknowledging this. She is acknowledging, but she has said she has dated, both her age group and younger. And as we say sheer. She prefers someone younger. Right now, Sheer has a 40-year age gap with her boyfriend. Okay. Kris Jenner, she has a 25-year age gap with her boyfriend. Heidi Klum has a 16-year age gap with her boyfriend. So again, there are several ladies of Hollywood. Okay. Several ladies of Hollywood that do explore. I would love to know, and I have seen that, some of us regular folk do explore with younger. Now, I have to say, in my dating realm, I only dated someone that was like 8 years younger. Yeah, 8 years younger than me. Hey, Tanya, be here. Glad to have you here. Glad to you're listening in the gym. Yeah, but there is such a thing of generalizing that ladies or girls mature more than men. But there are sometimes younger men who are more emotionally intelligent. Sometimes. Not a lot, but definitely sometimes. I have experienced that where the younger gentleman was way more mature than the men of my age group. So there is that. But traditionally, I'd rather not. I really, how do you navigate meeting the mom? I'm going to ask, the ladies who do date younger men, how do you navigate probably meeting his mother and knowing that y'all are probably in the same age group? That's kind of dicey for me. I'm not saying that every relationship has to lead to marriage. I'm not saying that, but the relationships usually lead to, if it's, long-standing, you are going to meet the mom, you are going to meet the family and the friends, you are going to mix, and we don't want a thin line between love and hate going from, the movies to reality. Hey, Nestos, Shackle Shuffle, Walk of Shame. Glad to have you here. Ari says, I can't date a guy younger than me. He has to be my exact age or older because it feels weird, even when they are a year or two younger. Now, Ari, is this your subtle way again of telling us that you're the youngest one in the chat? Is this your subtle way of saying, hey, I'm the youngest one, and if I do any younger, they may not be legally able to drink? I know that's not the case. I'm just saying, Ari, but I understand you want someone your exact age or a year or two. Even if they're a year or two young, you want someone older. I know, Ari. I know you're just saying. So, I mean, how much older is older? I mean, we get on the gentleman, some people, I don't. We get on the gentleman about being, significantly older than their partner when it's a young lady. Are we going to get on the ladies if they're significantly older than the men that they're with? Are we going to do that? Is turnabout fair play, or is there a double standard? Oh, is there a double standard? I'm just asking. I'm of the opinion, as long as they're both adults, consenting adults, is fine. And as long as the relationship didn't start before any of them were a consenting adult, y'all know what I'm saying. The G word, not brooming, but put a G instead of a B. As long as that ain't happening, you're consenting adults, and that's fine. Ari said, I would date someone 10 years older than me. I might push it to 15, but after that, it's a no. See, my grandparents were 16 years apart. No, they were 14 years apart. And then my grandmother's second husband was, I think, 16 years apart. So for me, it's a norm in the family. Mr. ElCid is only 4 years older than me. So different strokes for different folks. But Ari, good to know the swing of your ages. Okay, good to know you maybe 2 years younger, maybe, but your exact age or maybe 15 years older. Hey, Lady T-Bug, glad to have you here. Lady T-Bug, y'all, she covers your crime. And we get a good kiki in her chat. So please make sure you are subscribed to the Lady T-Bug's channel, okay? Tanya B, I'm glad everybody's saying hello. Lady T-Bug tells us I would date older. Now, Tracy, so you're not in the Tracy Ellis Ross category. You're not a Ross. Thank you, Tanya B. Yep. I'm just trying this here for a little bit to see how it works. We're glad y'all like it. So Lady T-Bug is saying she will not do the Tracy Ellis Ross and do younger. Okay, good to know. Good to know. To Go to Africa says, I noticed I was more pursued by older men when I was younger and by younger men when I got older. Girl, the pendulum is swinging. Just Rhonda01 said, I have a 14-year gap and he is younger. Okay. We have our own Miss Ross in the building. Hey, Just Rhonda. Tony B here says, I've dated older all my life. My husband is 5 years older than me too. Girl, I understand. My husband is just 4 years older than me. But I've dated the gamut, older, younger. My thing with older is, if he's significantly older, I know he will age faster and I may have to take care of him. Do I have the wherewithal to take care of him? And heck, we don't know. Even young people get sick and things happen to them right now that, they may need their partner to take care of them. I understand that, but I prefer older, but I married 4 years younger. Okay, Nestos. Nestos is saying, hey, I prefer older, but, I got snatched up and ringed up by 4 years younger. So we listed out the celebrities. And as I said, in the poly of it all, if you're looking at Seeking Brother Husband, that show, I believe it's still on TLC, you will see that there are mature men who are willing to have a polyamorous relationship with a lady and sharing her among several men. Now, there are 2 African-American families that way as a part of that show. But y'all, I just don't understand it. Okay, we could transition to the poly of it all. Shout out to Sahara from Ready to Love Philadelphia, the polyester, the poly of it all. And I watch those poly shows, and I just don't understand, except for Sister Wives. I just can't get into that. But really, how do you manage the personalities? You ain't forget managing everything else. How do you even manage the personalities? Manage a schedule? I barely want to be, juggling everything that I have to juggle right now with, Mr. ElCid. That's one person. I can't imagine having to emotionally connect with multiple people. I just don't have it not in that romantic capacity. Of course you connect. You have your spouse, you have your children, you have your parents. Yes, you emotionally connect, but to romantically connect with multiple people and they're living in the house, it's like, when do you get downtime? When do you get like quiet, alone time where it's just you? Where do you get that? When do you get that in the poly of it all? I don't understand it. I don't get it. So if you get it, please put it in the comments below. Of course, I am open to, all suggestions, all information. I'm not judging. I just don't understand. How do you manage and how does everyone find their happiness in a sharing environment? I know your happiness is within and has to be within. But again, how do you manage and cope? For me, I know I couldn't do it. Nestor Shackle Shuffle Walk of Shame says, I know you got some mess to be messy and petty about today. Yep. That's also why I come on early. That's why I come on at like 5 o'clock most days or 4 o'clock, because I need to be in the Lady T-Bug's chat, or I need to be in Just Rhonda01's chat, or the Unfiltered Dolls chat. She's usually in the mornings. I need to be in other chats later on in the evening. Sunshine says, that's too much energy for me. Sunshine, please, thank you. Thank you. And then when you're having kids and stuff, now I've seen it in Seeking Sister Wife. I have seen a couple of the families, how the women, where it's one husband, multiple wives, how they manage. And I said, okay, I could see how that works for you, not for me. I could see how that works for you, but that ain't my ministry at all. But many of them, grew up in the polyamorous lifestyle. My thing is, I understand it for those who grew up that way, where it's a norm for them. But for those now dipping their toe into it for the first time, I don't think they think about all the nuances. Now, there was an African-American family in Seeking Sister Wife in season 1. Y'all, they done had 3 sister wives come through. Thank you, Nestos. The crown is beautiful. Thank you. Girl, they have, they've been through in all the season 3 wives. He is now not with the first wife. Come to find out, she wasn't even legally his wife, and they had kids together. And they put those women through the ringer. I was like, oh my word, that is just too much for me. Just Rhonda said, I don't think they manage it for long once the thrill wears off. Exactly. There was one in Seeking Sister Wife where the legal wife here, they actually came to an agreement and they legally divorced so that he could go seek a sister wife outside of the US and bring her here. And I'm like, what in the world are we doing? Oh, golly. Hey, Miss Mad About Music, glad to have you here. And Jackson Tabasco. Yes, beautiful people, glad to have you here. We were talking about the poly of it all. We went from the older women, younger men phenomenon. We talk about Tracy Ellis Ross. Now we talk about, she talks about fluidity of relationships and being in relationships outside of gender norms and all of that. That was what Tracy Ellis Ross said. And now we've gone to polyamorous relationships. Yep, you saw a few episodes of that show. Interesting, very interesting. That Seeking Sister Wife, that show, that man is still like in hiding or something. Their last name begins with S. I'm not going to say it. Their last name begins with S. Hey everyone, I hope you're having a lovely day. Yes, we are. A lovely Friday. Friday. But yeah. But, the poly of it all, I've watched those poly shows and I'm like, I couldn't manage it. I couldn't. Then there was another show about realtors in Atlanta, and this young lady was going to meet a poly group to see if that would be something she would be interested in. And she was like, nah. And these are sometimes married couples that are in a poly group. For me, it's just oh my gosh, it's not the complete germ of it all. It's not that part, though that plays a major part. It's like, how do I ensure there is loyalty in the group? How do we make sure it's a closed group? Because there's also a show called Poly Family, and y'all, I could only get through one episode. Sorry, I couldn't do it. But there were 2 married couples in a closed poly relationship where they only, the ladies had their rooms and the men circled the rooms, night after night. But how do you manage that? And then all of a sudden, one of the ladies like, yeah, I'm thinking we should have, someone else. And I've been exploring that. So we're not closed anymore. You just violated the agreement of the closed system. That's the thing. Oh my word. What stuck with me back in high school was when they said, you're not only with your partner, but you're with everybody that your partner has been with. You're coming into close proximity with them. That has always been in my mind. And if you're in a poly, it's exponential. It's exponential. I can never be in a relationship like that. I'm too selfish. I'm not sharing my boyfriend with anyone. I agree with you, Moon Dust Angel, and you got a ditto from Ms. Mad About Music. Yes, Just Rhonda 01 does have a YouTube channel. If you type in Just Rhonda 01, you'll find she does the housewives, she does the married twos and the love and marriages. She does all of those. You get your fix over there. And she does something wonderful called she matches your she's doing it for Ready to Love right now. She's matching the cast with a character, like, she just did Naeem and matches him with Scorpio. So she does that. That's really cool. I love those episodes too. Mundas Angel says, I might be able to watch out of interest, but a bit like you, I couldn't continue after one episode. It's too weird for me. But for those who enjoy it, it's fine. Yes, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly. I like to see, like Tracy Ellis Ross's, she said that she wants to be with a younger man because he doesn't have what she terms toxic masculinity. He doesn't have one set way of looking how a relationship should be. I like to look at them to see how other people define their relationships. I'm not going to tell them it's wrong. And I'm going to tell him it's not right. It's just not right for me. It's just not what I want for my life. But I am very interested to see, oh, you do that? Well, how does that work? I'm very curious to ask those questions. Well, how do you see that working? How has that worked? And it's worked for 10, 20 years? Really? Y'all are some good people. Because there's one, too, where it's an African-American man. He has 2 Caucasian wives, and they were exploring a third wife, but they all sleep. They had to have a custom bed because they all sleep all on the same bed. Wow. Wow. How young is young for Tracy Ellis Ross? I'm not sure. I'll have to let me pull the article again. Let me look. She says she prefers dating a younger man because they're less bound. She doesn't say an actual number. She just says younger. She just says younger. She says she's long past the age where I feel like my job is to teach somebody or grow them up. That I'm not interested in. But there's no number, and I don't know who she's dating right now. I saw how to build a seg room on Netflix, which is interesting. And they did a poly room for someone else's house. I never realized so many people have so many different needs in a poly relationship. Yes, girl, because it's all different people, so they have different needs. To Go to Africa says it's impossible to deal with all of these personalities, enjoy each of them, and have enough left to enjoy yourself. You better preach, girl. You better preach. It's mad about, yes, the same bed. All them. And on special occasions, they wear the same pajamas. Okay? You hear me? You hear me? Do you hear me? They custom made bed. They were shopping for houses because the middle wife in the next season, she was pregnant, having their first child, within the union. And they were searching for a house, and they kept on telling people the primary bedroom isn't big enough because we need this custom bed. And then he said he may add another wife. Now, here's the dynamic of this that I did not appreciate, but that's me. That's me for my life. His life is his own and perfectly happy for him. He stays home with the kids. He stays home with the kids, and the women go out to work. The women are like, they have their careers. They are a force to be reckoned with in their careers, and they don't wish to give it up for a relationship. Power to you, young lady. Power to you. That's not my life. That's not how I wish to live my life. But hey, for those ladies, happy for them. Happy for them. This would be too hot and exhausting for me. No thanks. Take my regular bed any day. Girl, give me the standard size. I do not need the supersized custom bed with all these people in it. You had a high risk of catching all types of diseases. Yes. So did they get king size bed, or is Rihanna's song a California King? No, bigger than a California King. A custom sized bed. Yes, they got a custom sized bed, bigger than a California King. Okay, where they were living, the bed went from wall to wall, and it looked to be the length of like a queen. They'll need to discuss him wanting another wife, or can he just choose without consulting them? Well, there are rules to it, okay? And I learned that. Just Ron said, oh, heck no. I learned there are rules to it. Now, some of them have they talk about the rules of engagement. And many of them, it's like, okay, there are dating sites for someone who wishes to join a poly or a poly unit looking for an additional person. So there are dating sites that cater to that. So if you're a single person and you're looking to join a poly, there's a dating site for that. So they go searching on that dating site for their demographics, and they put it out there, and they may say, hey, he can go out on a date with her. There's rules of engagement of no swapping of bodily fluids, no kissing, no touching, none of that. None of that. Many of them have that rule. Some never say the rule, but think there is a rule, but he goes on the first date and then comes home and the women are mad because we didn't approve that. But you never disapproved it. You didn't tell him the parameters. And he was right with that. He's like, well, you never told me I couldn't. See, that right there is where I'll be like, no. But there are many of them that say, hey, you go out on a date, you kind of like, get a feel for the personality of the person. Then the person may go out on a date or an activity with the first wife. Then they may go out on an activity with the second wife. Then they may go out with just the wives and then another date with him. And again, this is all, they're dating away from kids. Then eventually, sometimes they bring the woman to meet the kids and get along with the kids and see how the family dynamic may work. I've seen that on Seeking Sister Wives. Seeking Brother Husband, I think one of them had a kid, but most of them didn't have a kid on Seeking Brother Husband. Or the kids were grown and out of the house. No, Seeking Brother Husband, there was one where they were poly and had the husband and wife knew each other since they were 18. They were poly, and for the last 10 years, there was a second gentleman in the home, and he helped raise their children. And the children were like 9 and 12 when he came on board with their family, and he helped raise all of the 2 children, and he was with the whole family. So again, is this thing the same that Sister Wives thing, or is it different? I just don't know enough about it. Pause. Yeah, there's Sister Wives. There's Seeking. No, yeah, it's similar to Sister Wives, but Sister Wives, you walked in and he had the thing together. At least I think so. But there's Seeking Sister Wife and there's Seeking Brother Husband, where they're seeking to add to their poly unit, which is interesting. I just couldn't do it. But it was interesting to learn that there were, yes, Miss Mad About Music. There was an African-American lady. She had 2 guys and she wanted to bring back a 3rd guy that she had dated before. Then there was an African-American woman who had an older husband. He was talking about this younger guy joining their family unit. He was giving him the rules. This is how you treat my wife if you wish to join us. And in many cases, like the Seeking Brother Husband, of course, the wife has time individually with each of the husbands. It's not a, everybody together at the same time. What I found interesting with Seeking Brother Husband, with that individual, you're thinking about where she had her long-standing husband since they knew each other since teens. Then she had this guy, the second husband, come along within their marriage. It seemed like now that husband, or when we saw them in the series, it seemed that husband was, how can I say it? That husband was, he basically was like, I want companionship. I don't want to be in the throngs of it all, maybe occasionally, but he was just kind of settled. Hey, I just need, comfort, warmth, meals, whatever. But he don't want to be performing, husbandly duties all the time. And he had his own room and she shared a room with the second husband. That's how their setup was. Third Ogun girl, she told the guys, he's coming over. He's coming over. I want you all to meet him. She was so excited. I saw a documentary about a dude in America today who was Mormon, and he had like 12 wives who were all 16 while he, girl, yes, he's in jail for life. He definitely is, because that is, the grooming of it all. Were those husbands involved with women outside the relationship? No. These husbands in Seeking Brother Husband, they are not allowed to engage with any other woman besides the spouse they have. Not at all. Not at all. Mm-mm. So definitely, if y'all want to watch if y'all are curious, if you're, curious of the polyester, the poly of it all, definitely those are some shows that they do explain quite a lot. But just saying, Seeking Sister Wife, the first few episodes with that family whose last name begins with S, let's just say they ended up having, the third wife who came from Africa. She ended up taking them to court, y'all, for all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. Hey, Miss Boogie Down, glad to have you here. So, how much for the ladies who have dated younger, and for the men in the chat, how young is too young for you? So on TikTok, about a 22-year-old man, but I've seen people commenting he's actually 39. Tried to, girl, with that Disney in Paris, girl, I ain't even touching that. Polly and get no, thank you. Because polyester, no, thank you. But for the folks, if you have dated younger, how much younger? What's the age gap you're willing to go? As I told you, we don't know the age number difference with Tracy Ellis Ross. She just says she's 52 and she prefers younger men. Because she wants someone who isn't, in this toxic masculinity and have gender norms. Okay. But they also listed, as I said before, that, Cher has a 40-year age gap. Kris Jenner has a 25-year age gap. Heidi Klum has a 16-year age gap with her husband. And, basically, there are people out here with the age gaps of it all. Hey, Shay B, glad to have you here. If you've dated younger, how much younger would you go if you haven't? How much younger would you go? The youngest I have dated is 8 years younger than me. That's the youngest I have gone. And he was actually quite mature. I didn't have to raise him, Miss Ross. I did not have to raise him or mature him. Yes, thank you, Jessica in Tabasco. Please remember to hit the like button. Kris Jenner won her young black tenderoni. Girl, yes, the former bodyguard. I'm just like, My boyfriend is 4 years younger than me, but we look the same age roughly. I've never worried too much about age gaps, but I never date someone with a crazy age gap because that would be wrong to me. Okay, that's not what Moondust Angel wants in her life. Tanya B also says, I cannot do younger. Lady T-Bug said it depends on the background, maturity, career, and assets. Yeah, Ari is the resident, take your phone or send you to bed if you're doing too much in the chat. I can't do more than 5 or 6 years. I will be 52. He must be 46 and up. Okay, Ms. Boogie Down say, I need a mature man. I am not going to be out here like Tracy Ellis Ross. Well, she wants someone who doesn't want regular gender norms, and she wants someone who is open to fluidity. Now, what fluidity means to me is that we can get down in a different route to Pound Town. That's what it says to me. It means that we can explore different ways to the promised land, and he may be open to it rather than most of the gentlemen in her age group who may not be open. But we have seen gentlemen in our unsolicited advice definitely say they are open. They're open to it. If they're mature, it might not matter, but maybe it would be to others, not the situation. Yeah, I don't care what people think about my relationships. That's on them. I can at least go 10 years, but they still have to meet my requirements. Again, Lady T-Bug told you, it depends on background, maturity, career, and assets. If you all needed that list again, okay? Those are her requirements. Those are her requirements. I might have a little plaything for some, sport ookie, but for serious relationship, no. Oh, so Ari is like, she'll just play. I like them older, at least 10 years. Ooh. Lady T-Rex says she is driving, y'all. Please be safe. And I guess when she hits the light, that's when she will. She said, also, I don't want to deal with kids. So Lady T-Rex, with all that, we got to add, she don't want to deal with kids. So maybe the kids need to be older. They need to be grown. They need to be out the house. That's her stipulations. My age or older. Okay, Shay-B, we know. We know now. Miss Boogie Down, 5'6", I'm 60. Oh, 56, I'm 60. Okay, Miss Bad About Music. Okay. Well, y'all know that I can't wait for Love is Blind Brazil because they are only doing 50 and above. I cannot wait for that Love is Blind Dating in the Pods to see how my mature individuals in Brazil date. If it's just like, just like us. You can't have kids under 18. Well, is it under 18, just Miss Boogie Down? Or is it under 18 and still at the house? Because under 18, it just means he ain't got no official child support. But if they're still at the house, but they can still be at the house and still maintaining themselves, In this economy, is multi-generational housing all around. There's something so exciting to me about older men. I think they are so good looking. Idris Elba is gorgeous, for example. Now, girl, Idris Elba ain't that older, but I know what you're saying. Not to me, he's not that older. It was like pulling wisdom teeth for me. The 4 years younger was almost the deal breaker for me. Girl, well, he showed you he was mature enough to handle such a lady as yourself. Nestor's shackle shuffle walk of shame. So 4 years younger was perfect for you. But y'all, it was only Tracy Ellis Ross and the Poly that y'all, we talked about last time. So if you want to talk about something else, you got to put it in chat. We're going to be here just for an hour, and we are we got 20 more minutes. They can be home. I don't want the crap about I got to get my kids for the weekend. Oh, okay. Yes, Idris is in his 50s, but I don't consider him older. He is older than me. I'll give you that much. But I don't consider him an older. For me, older, I gotta, it's gotta be 60s to me is older gentleman. Because I'm thinking of, you gotta have salt and pepper, if not all the way salt. Gotta look good with your grays graying in. We do not need to be beiging that beard and mustache and them eyebrows. Oh, I cannot stand when a man is supposed to be beautifully gray and he done cover it up with this dye and magic marker. I can't stand it. Hey Mimi, glad to have you here. We're talking Tracy Ellis Ross, age gap lady that loves to date younger man. And we talked about Polly, the Polly of it all. Boogie Down, don't want to date a man with kids. I'm really mostly in the camp of not having them anyway. Don't want my peace disturbed. I do love Pierce Bronson too. He's so amazing. In his defense of his wife, when anyone said to him she gained weight, he said, you should leave her for it. He doubled down on how perfect she was and stayed. Yeah, because people go through many stages in life. What is the easiest thing is to leave. The hard thing is to stay. This is, this is unscripted, y'all. It's whatever y'all wish to talk about. Pierce Bronson, I didn't like Pierce Bronson because, he then, when he became, James Bond, he had taken it from a fave of mine. I was not ready for a new James Bond when he came around. So I kind of side-eye him because of that. Now, Ernie Hudson is a fine-looking man in his 70s. He takes good care of himself. Who is Ernie Hudson? I'm going to have to look up who Ernie Hudson is. I don't know who Ernie Hudson is. Or maybe I know the face. Okay, yes. Sorry, I know the face. It did not ring a bell. It did not ring a bell for me. I'm sorry. K-Sharp. It didn't ring a bell for me immediately. But yes, he is an absolutely good-looking, I ain't going to go fine-looking. But, yep, I know the face. I ain't going to go fine-looking, but he is a good-looking man. He does take care of himself. Yes, I saw it. I saw the Ghostbusters. I saw his face. Yes, he is a good-looking man. Would y'all consider Delroy Lindo a good-looking man for his age? Delroy Lindo. Any takers for Delroy Lindo? Because if there isn't, that's okay with me. Okay, that's okay with me. Because he could be my eye candy. And Delroy Lindo is 72. 72. Mm-mm-mm. Apparently, the newest Golden Bachelor says he will cut women who are over 60 despite him being 66. Any thoughts? He wants a younger woman. He needs to just be Silver Bachelor, younger woman, episode. Yes, Delroy Lindo is, Yo, how old is Ving Rhames? How old is Ving Rhames? Is he in that category? Yes, Ving Rhames is 66. That's a good-looking man, Ving Rhames. Anyone for Ving Rhames? Oh, Delroy is your man? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, cousin. I'm sorry. But Delroy Lindo, Ving Rhames, y'all see the type I like? Y'all see the type I like? Delroy Lindo is hilarious, but I could only see him as an uncle for me. Same with Ving Rhames. See, Ving Rhames for me will always be the stepdaddy in Baby Boy. Because that shot of him in the kitchen will always be the best for me. He said 40 to 60, Golden Bachelor would choose a 40-year-old girl. Holiday Heart. I missed what Holiday Heart is. Delroy right there with Denzel and Samuel L. Jackson. Yes, girl. My man is 11 years. I'll do it on Monday. Glad to have you here. My man is 11 years older than me. I met him when I was 19. He was 30. I always liked older men. Well, I'll do it Monday. I'm glad. How long have y'all been together? If I may ask, how long have y'all been together? Because we do unsolicited advice out here. And when we hear 19 and 30, we hear some wild things in unsolicited advice. So it's good to see, he's 11 years older than you. How long y'all been together? Yes, and living rent-free in my mind is the Baby Boy scene. Girl, that will forever be Ving Rhames. I don't ever have to see his face. Okay? I need to see his cheeks, not his face. I felt I knew someone was coming with the Holiday Heart comment. I don't know what y'all mean with the Holiday Heart. Oh, yes. Okay. Ving Rhames did Holiday Heart. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I forgot about that movie. Yes, thank you, Mimi. That will always live rent free in my mind. I do Monday, me too. I was about the same as mine. We met at 20. He was 29. Okay, Miss Mad About Music. We're learning. The ladies like it. Oh, cousin. Now, why you got to put his name here? No, to me, he is not fine. To me, he's not fine. To me, he's not fine. And I have to get over it, but to me, he's not fine. Back in the day when I was a serious basketball fan in the East Coast, oh, heck no, you can't say that name. But to me, he's not my preference. But I'm glad somebody likes him. Okay, but when he came to the Garden, not the Garden, when he came over there in the Meadowlands and the Nets on their hardwood, and he did that foolishness, it was a scandal back in the day on the court. I don't even say that man's name. And I saw him at the airport in Philadelphia. And, my kids ain't into sport. I'm so glad they weren't like, Mom, we got to go meet him. Oh, I just walked right past. I was like, oh, thank you for moving the crowd so I could get by. If you're going to talk about older men in the acting industry, we have Sung Khan, and I know he's older than my youngest age. I listed, but Asian. Okay. Now, if you're talking about more mature Asian men, now, Russell Wong. Oh, girl. Russell Wong? The Asian dude that was in New Jack City? Russell Wong? Heck yeah. We split for about 20 years, and each of us had families. We came back together when I was 40 years old, and we've been together now for 10 years. I'm glad y'all came back. Okay, Shay B, I'm glad you're on my side with this, okay? Dennis Haysbert. Who is Dennis Haysbert? Now, Lawrence Fishburne, yes. I gotta look up this Dennis Haysbert. Yes. Now, Dennis Haysbert, yes, he's a handsome man. Dennis Haysbert is a handsome man, okay? But I'd rather him talk to me than me look at him, okay? I'd rather hear his voice than look at him. I think Eric Holder, the Attorney General under Barack Obama, is sexy as hell, has swag. He's 74. He is. He does have swag. You know, he's, acquired taste. I do like a good-looking Asian man. Oh, yes, Miss Mad About Music. But Russell Wong, yes. He was the antagonist too in Romeo Must Die. He was the one fighting against Jet Li in that one. So yes, so from New Jack City, when I saw Russell Wong as the detective next to Mario Van Peebles, I have been following his career since New Jack City. Living, yes, for the city. I've seen Russell Wong and stuff. I've never knew his name. Girl, you know his name now. But that's okay that you didn't know his name. I needed to know his name. Just saw that movie the other day. Which movie was that? New Jack City? I'm not sure which movie you're talking about, Miss Mad About Music. But if you don't know Russell Wong, that's perfectly all right. I have known Russell Wong his entire career. Okay? Fine looking man. Fine looking man. I'm sorry. Y'all can keep your Russell Crowe. I'll stick to Russell Wong. Okay? I'll stick to Russell Wong. Y'all can have Russell Crowe. Y'all can have that. But Russell Wong, heck yeah. Heck yeah. Definitely. Yes, he's married. Yeah, he was married for a while. It doesn't look like he has kids. Nino looked his best in New Jack City. Yeah, Nino Brown looked his best in New Jack City. So did Mr. Payne, the brother, G Money. Okay. Russell Crowe only looked good in The Gladiator. Okay. How about Gerard Butler? Because I'll put Gerard Butler in the same vein as Russell Crowe. But Nino looked his best in New York City. He didn't look his best in Blade. Because I thought he looked his best in Blade now. Mimi, you got to tell me. I thought Babe. Now, LA Law, Blair Underwood? Yes. But the current Beijing Ready? No. I don't like the Blair Underwood of now. But the LA Law? Blair Underwood? I need Blair Underwood to come out with his salt and pepper. Just let the gray grow. Keanu Reeves, yes. With long hair. The long John Wick hair, yes. I can watch John Wick all day. So much swag. He plays that character. That I understand. That I get. But it has to be that character because some things that Keanu does, he's just monotone for me. He's cute at first, then he's kind of looked icky to me after a while. Who is that? Who was cute at first and got kind of icky? Ari, you got to put these names. Thugging me like Nino. Yes, I know, but if you put the Blade body in the Nino thing, okay. So Ari had Blair Underwood. Yep. Okay. Yeah, but I need Blair. Oh. Wesley was fine AF in Waiting to Exhale. I was only 14, girl. Or Gerard Butler got icky because he's getting kind of grungy now. He ain't growing old gracefully. Okay, Shay Beam is mad about music, says my man Blair. Okay, she put the hearts in. Esai Morales. Okay. Esai Morales. He's okay looking. He's okay looking. He's okay. I'll give you that. But he's just not, for me. But he's aging quite well. He's aging quite well. But yeah, Blair Underwood of LA Law, yes. But I need Blair to let his gray grow in. I need Blair to let his gray grow in. Oh my gosh, he will look so fine with some salt and pepper, even if it's just a bit in the front. Oh, love them in Criminal Minds. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll do it on Monday. Says Shamar Moore is fine. He is good to look at, but he's attractive for the movies and the parts he plays. But he's attractive. He ain't fine to me. Yeah, just not. He's a good-looking man. I will give him his props. He is an absolutely good-looking man. But Denzel was looking good in the new Gladiator. Okay, Denzel. I prefer the Samuel L. Jackson of it all. But y'all see the kind of type. Y'all see. I can't say I ain't got no type. That is my type. The Samuel L. Jackson of it all. I keep it mute and cute on Shamar of now. Girl. Okay, any tips about the bobs? Now, for those of you, okay, let me keep this up because let me let you know that the transition is K Sharp's fault. Okay? The transition is K Sharp's fault. So bobs are the BOBS means battery operated boyfriend. Okay? And for those who were at our last show, the wife's husband came home early and she was charging her battery operated boyfriend, and he was upset he came home early. Maybe she's more interested in the bob than anything. And this is the only way for YouTube we could talk about it. We could call it the dilly and the dough. Okay? We could call it the dilly and the dough or not. Now, my thing is, any tips about it? Find the one that can take you there. However you get to the promised land is however you get to the promised land. I need you to find one that will take you there and take you there safely. Now, what I recommend, and it may sound cheesy, but go to one of those in-home parties where you can ask someone about the products, where you can talk. There's a sample you can hold in your hand that is, covered, that has not been used. You could certainly entertain it if you've never entertained one before. I think for me was the more practical way of going to a party, talking to the person, and then making a purchase. That's just me. So yes, a bob is a battery operated boyfriend. It is also in the streets called a dilly and a dough. It also has a V name. Okay? It also has a V name. My thing is, go out there and, again, don't be cheap. Thank you, Ari. Do not be cheap with it, because cheap can get you hurt, rash, diseased. It probably don't clean well. You need to also, if you're getting one, you have to know the maintenance advice. You have to know that. Now, how you handle your bobs is up to you. I would say make sure it's in, dry, clean place. After you clean, you have to know how to clean it, and clean after every use. Please. Now, it's fun if you go to a store and shop with your partner. You see, you can learn a whole lot about a person if you go to one of those stores. You could park around back, or you could park at the store next door and walk over. Okay? You could park at a store next door and walk over, so your car isn't seen in front of, the adult toy store. Okay? Yes, Bible Lady, glad to have you here. I'm going to behave on this channel. Girl, you walked in when we're talking about battery operated boyfriends. The time to behave has long passed. The time to behave has long passed. It should be quiet and rechargeable. Why need to be quiet, Moondust Angel? You don't want nobody hearing you? Don't be afraid to ask someone what's available based on your specific needs. Don't be afraid to ask for advice from the sales assistant. Glad to have you here, Bible Lady. We talked about the dating younger. Yeah, we don't behave here. I just have to behave in certain words for the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, she caught us when we're not behaving. And don't think the Bible Lady is demure and mindful. Okay, she does act wild out here in these YouTube streets, and we love her for that. But what we're talking about is, tips on Bobs, our battery operated boyfriends out here. So my thing is, it's wonderful to go with a partner, to go to the store and buy something. Hey, let's talk about it all. See, I'm glad all the handles are back as they should be. This morning we were discombobulated with all the real @ in the chat. If you did a chat this morning on YouTube, we saw people's YouTube government name, and I'm glad that our regular handles are back as we wish to be presented. So it's wonderful to go go out with your partner to a toy store and y'all pick something out, and just to see the variety. Also, it tells you with what they want and what they're interested in. And Let's Talk About It All says, I go with my husband all the time. My husband don't want to go to the store, okay? My husband don't want to go in. But what he will do is we can surf the internet. We can surf and look. Okay? We can surf and look. Son came in the room. Girl, we are on to the battery operated boyfriend. Tell your Bob, if you don't holler, I won't scream. See, I need to hear it. That's a dangerous thing if I can't hear it. If I don't hear, and maybe it's because I'm old school. Old school back in the day, a Bob would be making noise on a counter. You be hearing zzz, you be hearing noise from a Bob. If you put it still going on the dresser, it will be flopping around. It can even spice up your relationship if you want that. I've read somewhere that reaching the promised land once a day is amazing for your mental health. Now, Moon Danger, I have to caution you. You also have to have rules of engagement with your person. You don't want to be like the last unsolicited advice where, your person is thinking you only use it with them, and that wasn't the rules. So make sure you have an understanding with your person that you are going to be using this once a day with them or without them. Me and my husband going to, hey, Tanya B says, we go to the Bob store. I know it came as soon as you started talking about it. Of course, that's why we say it. I'm also the friend that when I call you, I say, do you have me on speakerphone? Especially if you have young children. Do you have me on speakerphone? Because my mouth is wicked. I need to know if I need to tailor it to young ears or if I could just talk to you like my real girlfriend. I don't mind the noise person. I just wouldn't want to make anyone I live with uncomfortable should they hear it. Girl, they got to close their ears. Hey, Sanders, all right. Happy Friday. I don't understand why I'm always late to the live. Sorry, I'm here now. Sanders, we're talking about Bob's battery-operated boyfriends. Somebody asked, K-Sharp, don't tell I told you who said it, okay? Asked, if there are any tips about Bob's. And we're saying, many of the ladies here say it's wonderful to go with your partner to go pick out a Bob or go pick out some toys. It is something that, they enjoy doing with a partner. And I'm saying it's a wonderful experience if you go to the store. If you've never bought a Bob before, it's good to either go to a store or go to one of those parties where there are people that, at somebody's home and they show it off. It's usually them housewives that have them good Bob parties. They aren't called that. They're called something else, but it's good to have. Now, there was a lady I worked with. She was real demure and mindful. She was the church lady, probably the head of the usher board, and she was at our job. And one of the days, me, she come in the kitchen, she come in the break room, and she heard me talking about, a good old Bob, because we on break. And she's like, oh, I have a party coming up this weekend. And I'm like, a party for what? That's what she did on the side. She sold Bobs. I would never thought that of her. Some Bobs have been way too loud for my liking. Real loud buzzing is a distraction. Yes, it can take away from the mood. I'm just saying if it's on a table or counter, the buzzing may cause it to shake and dance on the counter. I went there with my other half and I was delighted. He wasn't nervous to go with me, made me feel empowered. We use toys every so often. And I'll say, cuffing is cool. I'm trying to find me a good, reliable swing. Girl, you have to make sure the material, and not only that, it's not just that. Hey, let's talk about it. You have to make sure where you're putting it, you have beams for the proper weight support. I only say that because I am part of the plus size delegation. Anything holding me up got to have strong, weight point for me. So I'm just saying, you got to have that. Oh, never owned a bob, was gifted one, still never used. Miss Boogie Down. Miss Boogie Down. You're missing out. I'm not telling you to go to the dungeon room, but you're missing out. If you were gifted one, definitely, honor the gift, because you cannot re-gift that. Because no matter who you try to re-gift that to, they're going to think you used it. They're going to think you at least charged it one good time and used it, and they don't know if you clean it. You can't re-gift it. You can't just keep it in the closet. Girl, you were gifted. Use your gifts. Yes, Sanders, a swing in the air, a swing that is bolted from the roof. Okay. Do I have to say more for Sanders, RN? A pheromone perfume. Yeah, but yeah, it didn't work with me. Yeah, it didn't work with me. Didn't work for us. My husband and I shop together, and he knows I engage without his presence with the bob. Y'all have that agreement. But I need to know if Sanders need me to explain what a swing is. I will never re-gift. I was embarrassed like hell. You never re-gifted, Miss Boogie Down. You better not. I would look at you side-eye, even though I'm your open friend. It's like, I'm going to need to see an original receipt that you just bought this last week. These perfume work, keep getting after. No. Sanders, you think you got it? Think of a swing. Instead of a swing where your butt is in one swoop, some people still use that. There are swings where there's a swing for each leg. Think of your leg on two swings on the playground. There's for you to sit. Yeah, it's holding each leg. There's some like that. There are many different types. Okay, there are many different types. And once we get, make sure you are, subscribe. Once we get to a member section, once we get behind a member wall, I can speak more freely, and we could talk more about what you can encounter. I cannot do a show and tell here on YouTube, but definitely I can describe some things that you may find in a toy store that you may want to be involved with. Because, it's a candy store for grown-ups. We all want it to be grown, and this is just one of the parts of being grown. I was going there. I was going there as of a legal age, okay? I want to know, what's this? What's this used for? Oh, really? And then I would ask people in the store what they have used. It's a good time. It's a good time. Yeah, hey, let's talk about, yeah, I know about them. I've never, girl. Oh, you're more of a rose user, Nesto. Okay, so your bob has never gone through the tunnel. Okay, good to know. Good to know. You're more of a rose girl. Good to know. Boogie Down. Yes, Miss Boogie Down got a bob as a gift. Oh, now Miss Mad About Music wants to know who gave you the gift. Was it a man? Was it a man, Savannah? Did a man give you this bob gift? To go to Africa says, I'm learning a lot today. Girl, you're going to learn here. Was it a gag gift? Now, Nestos, why would you say that? Because my next inclination is to say, was it a gag gift or did you gag on the gift? Insert innuendo here. Yes, Sanders, that is the best way I can say go through the tunnel, because I can't say what she said. Bob didn't go through the tunnel. Bob did not take her temperature. Is that better? Is that better? Let's look what you started. No. Actually, K Sharp started this because she asked for Bob tips. Okay, she asked for Bob tips, and that's what got us here. So though Nestos is taking it to the other lane, K Sharp got us here. K Sharp got us here. Okay. Just want to make sure that we know who we need to talk to and when. We're having conversation with the ladies at work. Thought it was funny. I turned all kinds of red. Oh, the ladies at work gave it to you. Were you stressed at work? I'm glad you find us hilarious. I'll do it on Monday. Miss Boogie Down, were you stressed at work? And they're like, hey, don't take no headache pills. Use this. Or is it the gift giver? Because I couldn't care less who gave me a gift. If I can use it, I'm gonna use it. Even if I use it one good time and toss it in trash, I'm gonna be able to say, hey, I use this. I have, this got me there, or this didn't got me there. Oh, I learned its functionality. How about that? I learned its functionality is what I'll say. Even if I didn't keep it, I learned how to use it. Now, when I divorced, yes, it's given a different meaning to stressful girl. Now, why am I always the friend? That people always come asking me these things? Because, when I divorced and stuff, of course I was single again, but then all my other girlfriends were single. And then one young lady met a very adventurous man, and she's coming to me. I said, you need to talk to your man. You need to talk to the man you are dating, because I can give you my definition of stuff, but not necessarily his definition. Y'all, she didn't even know what, a safe word is. She didn't know none of that. And I was like, okay. Let me hold your, and she was older than me. I said, let me take your hand. Okay, Dorothy, let me take your hand and let's go down this yellow brick road. Okay. And let's talk about it. Says a good thing. Do not get too big to demasculate your man. See, that's why y'all need to go together to purchase, so that he does co-sign on it. I feel like I have led a sheltered life. Go to Africa. El says, takes me out every time. Sorry, Jamie. You said that last time. There's only so much I can say. I can't say it. It's the wand. I don't know how to use it. And my man was like, what the? Oh, okay. I understand. But it was a gift. It wasn't like you brought it home, so he can understand. The thing is, I don't even need to know if you tossed it out or if you tossed it back. Okay? I don't need to know. Pineapple. Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better drink a lot of pineapple juice. That's all I gotta say. I accidentally bought the wrong size once and couldn't even use it. Girl, you can't take that back. There are no refunds. No refunds. AK's POV. Hey, glad to have you here. Not gonna lie, every time ElCid says, I think of Ola from Love is Blind Sweden. Girl, do not put me in the same category as Ola from Love is Blind Sweden. I'm problem with you, sheltered. In the bushes taking notes. Just Rhonda, don't take notes. You need to teach a class too. It's still in a box, but I did charge it. Girl, yay! We're one step closer. We charged it. Now, if it's been in the box for months, it's going to lose that charge. You're going to have to charge it again. At least turn it on. Even if you don't use it, at least turn it on to see what it does, how it works, and then you can toss it. You don't have to use it. Don't have to go down the tunnel. I'm not, not able for something that large. Okay. Some people like to, stretch to their limits, and some don't. Tanya's like, use that thing, girl. Well, she has a gentleman, so he has to approve it as well. But I'm just saying, turn it on, see how it moves or whatever, and you get a good kiki with the man too. Like, why would somebody send you this? And if it's the wand I'm thinking of, Miss Boogie Down, y'all get a good laugh out of this. Y'all get a good laugh. Y'all get a good laugh. If I had it with, only if I had a Zoom, and we could have a Zoom, we could have a show and tell conversation, because these are the conversations I wish we had, or at least I had with women, that were my age when I was younger, because I had to go out there and ask and learn about it myself. And sometimes if you ask the wrong person, you get looked at funny. But, I was curious, as far as that. Does it make me unusual? My friend said it thought it was a bit strange. Girl, it's strange for your friend, not strange for you. I'm here listening. Broke my 2 toys. That was years ago. Oh, okay. So you didn't replace. The squirrel is bad now. Now y'all did. These are the recommendations in the chat. These are the recommendations in the chat. Now, Mimi, my question is, how did you break them, or did they break because of wear and tear? Okay. I'm using words specifically. Y'all know I use certain words specifically. Or as our favorite friend in here, Trey Mack, which he isn't here today, pacifically. Was it wear and tear, or was it a wear and a tear? I have questions on how do you break them. Now, I know with that angel, now y'all are paying attention to the I don't know how, but usually it's because of overuse. Okay, they owe you a refund. Okay, malfunctions happen in any technology. I was wondering how too, but I was afraid to know. I'm never afraid to ask. So if y'all want to ask somebody in the chat about something and you are too afraid to ask it, whisper in my ear. Whisper in my ear. I'm not afraid to ask, because how else am I going to learn? I need to know. Like, we need to know, okay, was it something I may have bought? Is it something that they do, that maybe this batch wasn't good? I have no problems going directly to a manufacturer and say, hey, this ain't good. I don't dare ask, but I do ask. Probably overused it. Poor Ting Ting. Oh, Ting Ting was tired. Okay, I understand then. Overuse can happen, as long as it doesn't overheat, especially while it's in the tunnel. We can't have that. I have a friend that should own stocks in the A&E. You know what? Yeah. One thing, if you talking about they should own stocks, that is a market that I don't think will go away. Okay, I don't think that market will go away. Just like kids' toys, that market is not going to go away. So I'm just saying, Nesto Shackle Shuffle Walk of Shame just said a friend should own stocks, and they always tell you if you use something regularly, that's where you should be buying your stocks and bonds. Not poor Ting Ting on a toy. Start slow and work doesn't work for you on your own, then introduce your partner to it. Now you have to know your partner, because some partners want to be in from inception. They do not want it brought on. But Mr. ElCid found me with my toy box. Okay. So he can't say that I, brought something new to him. It was already here. There's no need to pressure yourself to know it all. I did that in my 20s and got me nowhere. Just relax and take your time. No rush. You'll be fine. Right. My thing is, take the opportunity. Yes, Nestos. Squirrel. Look it up. My thing is, if the opportunity presents itself for me to ask a question, I will. That way I can truly find out. And especially if it's someone who's used it. I've been lucky enough that I've been around people who are very open. My grandparents were entertainers, so they were very much with very much people who are more free and open to talk. Yes, it's a go-go squirrel. Thank you, Shapey. I'm not going to put it up here. I don't want YouTube to have a coronary. But it's people who are more open to talking, more in tune with their bodies. One thing I missed was being out in New York. I miss my friends, being day to day with my friends of the rainbow community. Love speaking, and that's who would usually answer my question very open and honestly. So again, I understand where Tracy Ellis Ross is coming from, where we started all of this, where she said that, she said toxic masculinity. I'm just saying set in their ways of how things should be, how things should not be. So I'm just saying that part. But there are some gentlemen in her age group above 50 who may not like, to be around toys at all. They just may be. My chick back on the horse. I'm in the 50s club now. Girl, you may get back on the horse. Well, we'll see if you're looking for a stallion or not. You know, about to go. Yes, please go look it up. You know, I'm all about recommendations. All about recommendations. Totally about recommendations. Totally about recommendations. Please, ladies, whatever you see in the chat, look it up. And the chat is usually available a few hours after a live. So please look it up. Look it up. Know what's going on. And, you know, for me, information is free. I may not give you actual cash money, but what I will do is give you information. Now, you know, if you really my dog and you really need help, I definitely, of course, would help you. But definitely. And as I said that to the person who watched my video and did send me something on Cash App, I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. You don't have to contribute. That's why I don't put it in my you know, banner on the bottom. It's in the description. It is the same name, ElCid 932. I do appreciate it. You know who you are. I didn't know how to contact you, and I'm not going to put your business in the street. But thank you so much for contributing. Until the channel is monetized by YouTube, that is the best way to contribute if you wish to. And if you can. This economy, don't go out of your way. My auntie recommended to continue using them often because otherwise, now your auntie is giving you a misconception. Becoming a desert because of menopause, I have not encountered that. That is a reason to keep on. It's just your biology. One, you need to stay hydrated. You know, we learned this on Unfiltered Doll Reactions on her channel. We learned the girlies say, make sure you drink your coconut water. Make sure you drink your pineapple juice. Make sure you drink certain things. Some of them go all the way to drinking kids' Pedialyte. If you keep hydrated and keep your electrolytes, you know, going, then yes. Then yes, you definitely can try to. But sometimes it happens, you know, when you are in perimenopause or in menopause. You don't look old enough for that, to be honest. To be fully transparent, my perimenopause journey started at 33. Just like we go in unsolicited advice and we hear that, you know, men are suffering from ED as young as in their 20s. Hey, as young as in their 20s. So ladies can certainly start their perimenopause at an early age. My doctor did not believe me. I have a mother, I have a grandmother. I know, you know, older people. I was in my college and my bestest friend was the oldest woman going to our college. I knew about it. And I was like, hey, I think I'm going through the life's change. He said, no, you're too young. I said, well, could you take a blood test and could you check my levels? You're too young, you're too young. I was like, could you please check my levels? He checked my levels and I kind of knew my body. And he never doubted me after that. What I appreciate, even if a doctor doubts me, the doctors I've had, I appreciate them listening to me and actually putting forward the effort in listening to what I have to say. Good to know. I've been worried about it. Yeah, girl. No. That's your body. And even though you may do all of that, again, I'm not a medical professional. Even though you do all of that, your body may be, you know, going through certain things that it'll change. You may be doing coconut water, pineapple juice, everything, and you're properly hydrated and everything. And all of a sudden, while, you know, someone is traveling in a tunnel, desert storm. Nothing. That can happen. That's why I don't begrudge anybody who may need some assistance, you know, who may need the jellies of it all. You know, explore those too. Because when you're in different stages of your life, explore those. You may want to explore it now so you know if it does happen. Did it upset you that you may not have been able to have more children at that point, or were you okay? I hope you don't mind me asking. Just interested to learn more. Girl, information is free around here. I don't wish to. I'll just say, I'll pause on that. No, by the time that happened, I already had my 2 kids. By the second kid, and behind a member wall, I'll tell you about that. It was very difficult. And it was very, very difficult. So I knew it was no more. I actually just wanted one. But my when you have a kid and you're looking around and like, you know what? I was an only child, and I can see my son really would do better with a sibling, and he wanted a sibling. He had cousins and all this, and I was like, okay, I have so much to do as an only child, and I didn't want him to feel alone, and he would have a sibling. And so we tried, but I wanted a 5-year age gap, because the numbers to me, I needed time to get my body together. I needed time. And I also know if y'all both want to go to college, I cannot afford to send 2 to college at the same time. So we need a 5-year age gap. You got your 4 years and a cushion year. And you see, with COVID, ended up having a cushion year. So they both graduated, the high school and the college graduated at the same time. So yeah, I was not trying to have any more. So I was fine. I was fine with not having any more. I actually wanted to stop. I wanted, I actually, after, a difficult pregnancy, a difficult birth, I said, doctor, while you're in there, could you by any chance do a 2-for-1 special? Could you just close the shop? Could you just close everything up and just no more chances? And he said, no, we can't do that. You're under 30. It was, again, the state I was in. You could not stop your fertility as a woman if you were under the age of 30, even if I had my husband's permission. Yes, we're gonna go there like Handmaid's Tale. Even if my husband was okay with it, they cannot, for lack of a better term, sterilize you if you were under 30. Know the rules of your state. Know the rules of your state if you are under 30. Did you miss that you had no daughter? Girl, no. The Lord blessed me with exactly what he knew I needed. I'm the mother for boys. I was a tomboy. Still, many people say I'm more masculine energy. So no. A daughter would have been for my mother and grandmother. They would have wanted her to be a pageant girl. I'm not the pageant. I'm not the makeup. I am the hair now, but I'm not the makeup. I'm not the fashion girl. My mother and grandmother would have any daughter of mine going through pageants. And that ain't my ministry. It'll be like, I just had her so they can raise her. And if she's not, then she and I would totally be in the same boat. I was the sporty girl. I was the hair, makeup, and you put makeup on my eyes and I'll rub it right off. And then worse, when I got glasses, makeup, you can't see the makeup. Okra water is great for the libido. Watermelon is 92% water, and also good for the drive and hydration. Yes, I heard about okra water, but I haven't done it because culinary, I eat a lot of okra. And I eat okra in my peas and rice, and I eat okra with y'all know I'm West Indian. I was born in Trinidad. We eat it with a dish called callaloo, which is basically, we use callaloo, the actual tree, but the leaves, but we make it here with spinach and okra, coconut milk, and maybe some vegetable broth, and we put a little pumpkin squash in it, and it tastes really good. We boil all that down together, and then we blend it up so it's kind of like a sauce over rice and so forth. Or people eat it very different ways. And in Jamaica, they have a soup. I love a good callaloo soup somebody from Jamaica can make it. I was a girly girl, but I prayed for a son. Only hair I wanted to do was my own. Girl. And the thing is, my mother permed my hair since I was 9. So the natural hair, when you see my natural hair all out, it was just too much for her. That was my grandfather's mother, my mother's father's mother. I have her very thick hair. My mother couldn't handle it, couldn't manage it. It was just too much. It was at a time where we didn't understand how to handle our natural hair. And I was permed till I was 9. And then after I had my boys, I finally got to a point where I was like, I don't want to perm anymore. I just got tired of it. I'm what would be a low porosity hair. I think it's low porosity. It used to take me hours under the hairdryer just to dry. And I just got tired of it. I'm wasting time at the hairdressers all this time when I could be doing something else. Just like I stopped watching football on the weekends to free up my weekend so I'm not glued to a TV or at somebody's home or at a tailgate. I need to stop that. But my natural hair, I just was like, let me just go natural. Let me grow my hair out. And I braid for years and years and years, all different braid patterns, and kept cutting. I did not do a big chop. I wasn't the girly for that. But what I did do was, braid. And as I took the braids out, I took braids out and trimmed until it was only my natural hair. It was not well received. It was not well received at first by the person married to me at that time. But it was what was best for me. And then you saw all the studies come out about, what scientists have said relaxers could do to you, the chemicals in your body. And I was like, but don't think natural hair is easy. Maintaining natural hair is not easy, but it can be manageable once you learn your hair. Because the other thing I had to do is learn to love my hair, how it grew out my head. I may want my hair to look a certain way. Like, dang, I like her curl pattern. How do you get your curls like that? And I may try it, and it may never happen because guess what? That ain't my hair. My hair don't listen. See, my hair is like me. My hair is a lot like me. It don't listen. And with it not listening, I just gotta be like, you know what? Do you, boo? Like Sheree would say, who gonna check me, boo? That's what my hair tells me on a daily basis. When I try to wrangle it and I try to do what I want to do, my hair says, who gonna check me, boo? And guess what happens? I can't check it. It's gonna do what it wants to and be like, you know what? You win. You win. You can have it however you want it. You win. Yo, but this is ElCid Unscripted. I said I wanted to make this only an hour. Y'all have me here an hour and a half. We talked about Tracy Ellis Ross. We talked about dating younger men. The chat showed if they dated younger or older, what's the age gap. We talked about the Bobs of it all, B.O.B., the battery-operated boyfriends, and we got some great tips in the chat. We talked about the polyester. Shout out to Hara from Ready to Love Philadelphia. That's coming back August 1st. The poly of it all. We talked about seeking sister wife, seeking sister husband. Y'all, we talked about a lot today. But please make sure you are liking, you are subscribed to the channel. I will be back Sunday for Unsolicited Advice, where we get mild to spicy with our advice. Then Tuesday is Somebody's Son. I do it actually Aubrey. And we're thinking about doing Match Me Abroad, which is a show that I've got to catch up on, which only one episode came out. So actually, Aubrey on her channel, we're probably going to be doing Match Me Abroad on Sundays. But as always, next week too, because it's the holiday weekend, next week, Thursday, we're going to meet the designers of Project Runway. Remember, I'm your fashionless friend. So we are going to talk about the designers. We're going to meet them. And as I said, I'm only doing Project Runway because y'all want me to do it. And because Law Roach is the new permanent judge. Heidi Klum is back. We're glad to have her back. Nina Garcia is still there. Christian is still the mentor. Christian, I'm sorry. But Law Roach is a permanent judge. And I love the image architect called Law Roach. So you will meet the designers, all 12 of them, next week. I have that live already posted, so make sure you have that notification on. You thought Ready to Love was back in July? Girl, the 1st of August is on a Friday. Ready to Love. And I did get to interview Cam from Ready to Love Philadelphia. Please check out that interview. And I'm hoping to interview more of the cast. I hope to interview more of the cast. But I love it here. I love, all of you here. I love that y'all have a community here. And y'all need to think of a name for us. Y'all need to think of a name for us. The subscribers, those in the chat, let us know what do you wish to be called. If we wish to be called anything other than, ElCid's fam. Let me know, okay? But I love it here. Love to have y'all here. Glad to have you stay with me. And we have some good things coming. Love is Blind Italy's trailer is out. Love is Blind France is supposed to be coming out. I also have a post where there's even talks of Love is Blind Canada, Poland, Netherlands, Mexico season 2. There's a lot of Love is Blind coming. And even though we are a Love is Blind channel, primarily the show don't stop for just one pony. We will continue being here and we will continue talking, chatting, getting to know each other, and sharing information. ElCid, oh, I like that. People have to tell me what they think. ElCid, I love it here. Love YouTube. Thank you, Let's Talk About It All. Let's Talk About It All knows and sees me in the chats on different channels. But yes, thank you so much. And I know maybe later, Lady T-Bug is going to be on, and she gonna have us with that, crime information on her channel. Just Rhonda01 on her channel. She has the housewives of it all. So as a community, let us support each other. And I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers, and I need you to do it. Oh, and Saturday morning, I should have Alone, episode 3, The Wilderness Show. I should have that recap ready for you on Saturday morning. But thank you so much, y'all, and I'll see you on the next one.